Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Wow, what crazy times we're living in right now. Um, okay, so I'm here on YouTube and I'm also here on Instagram. How you guys doing? Why does it seem like I can't see nothing on here? Let's see here. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. And now, delete. Let's try this again, shall we? Want to wait till a few people join on anyways to start talking about this crazy shenanigans going on. Okay, they changed all this thing around and now it's, there we go. Okay, what's going on, guys? Big times we're in right now. This is crazy energy. And I am the spiritual bodybuilder, and I'm coming here to you tonight to talk about this weekend because we literally have the biggest transformative, massive shifting energy we're ever going to see in our lives. Okay, big time, and I'm sure you guys are all feeling this. So I want to talk about what's going on within us, all right, but also what's going on outside of us and what it all means for our future, because we are defining the rest of our lives starting this weekend right here. This weekend will set the stage mostly for this year, but in the bigger scheme of things, this year is setting the stage for the rest of our lives, okay? Our decisions, our thoughts, what we manifest, what we feel, what we're looking at to come into the world is going to have a massive impact on how we respond to this energy. We have not seen this kind of energy in over 500 years, and there is multiple layers going on here, stripping away the old way that we do things and the old ways that we envisioned our life to be, or how we thought we had to live. Okay, you look at what's going on in the world right now with politics, with all these natural disasters happening. This is apocalyptic type of energy. Now, when I say apocalypse, all right, the biblical version of that word, I feel is insufficient for what it really means. Apocalypse in the esoteric realm means to bring the hidden to light, to expose the unknown, right? And that's essentially what has gone at a deeper level individually. Like 2012 is when it really hit, right? The end of the Mayan calendar. But now this is where it's going to take on a whole new level as we go into the age of Aquarius, death and rebirth. It's that deep unconscious shit that we don't want anybody to know about, right? This is all about power. This is all about, and where do we give our power away? How do we use our power? What type of power are we using and why? And as the vibration raises in humanity with all this spirit awakening in mass quantities, it is starting to flood across the world with people waking up all over the place. Now, what does this really mean? Okay, you hear it all over the place, almost become like a fad, is having that feeling that one day you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? All of a sudden you feel like everything's wrong. Like when you watch that movie, it's really terrible acting. You're like, I can see the acting, I can't see the movie. It's like all of a sudden you can see all the acting that's going on in the world. You can see underneath it. You can feel the energy behind it. And this energy feels fake, so daunting. Like, why the fuck is everything like that? And we have to really allow ourselves to process this and not try to fight, not try to figure it out, try to figure it out, or drive yourself fucking crazy, right? This Plutonic energy is exactly conjunct Saturn coming on the 10th. So this eclipse energy, of course, is going to be, it's the second to last eclipse in this series of eclipses with the node going through Capricorn. Now, I'm a Capricorn. That can have transformed your life as well, even if you're not a Capricorn or a Cancer. Major transformation going on. And this is mostly in our mind, right? In our thought process. And as we wake up to these new energies and identifying these new things. We may have had these beliefs of how we want to live our life. Then all of a sudden we realize, wait a minute, I thought I wanted that, but now that I have it, so why that? And you can drive yourself mad trying to figure this shit out. But the important thing is to dig deeper, to go with it, to really identify and become aware of feelings that come up or these thoughts that come up and how it affects our day-to-day life. So for example, you keep getting into dysfunctional relationships, or you're in a relationship for a certain reason, say safety and security, right? But really, you're meant to be an influence in this world. You're meant to, we all have a part to play in humanity. We're all here to help others, right? In some way, shape, or form. We all have a gift. And that's what astrology teaches us, okay? That you keep going in this repetitive pattern and want to be happy. Your ego telling you, hey, let's be happy. But it just enlightens you. Now, what does enlightenment really mean in that scenario? It means that when you think or feel these things that are going through you, you allow it to teach you. You approach it with a curiosity. You don't approach it with a control mechanism, because that's what our ego likes to do, is try to control things, right? Just like in the world, what we see now is all these government entities are trying to control everything. And what is that doing? It's just causing more mayhem, because all this shit is coming up. And the really sad thing about that is that it's all based around fucking religion. Organized religion is doing all it has since, really since we've recorded, time and humanity. So think about that for a minute. All right. What is religion supposed to represent? It's supposed to represent God, right? It's supposed to represent, enlightenment and being holy. How can it be holy if all it does is creates destruction and terror? Now, of course, there has to be some kind of breakdown to have a breakthrough. But when it's constantly creating, we're going through this process. We haven't gone more than 20 years without being in a war since this country was created. And before that, it was more often than that. Why? It's because our egos are leading the way. It's a dick measuring contest. And I'm not saying there's a time and place and a reason and a situation for everything, right? We have to go forward. We have to confront these things to a certain extent, yes. But just imagine if all the leaders of the world actually wanted to get along and create a society where we can actually flourish together. That would require putting down the dick measuring contest, right? Letting it go and just talking to each other and finding that common ground, because everybody anywhere, anyway can find common ground, and that would spread throughout humanity. But you know what? There's too many people that are greedy, that want power, and that's within us. Our ego is greedy and powerful and manipulative. And those parts of our ego, just like those parts that are in the world, are coming out and exposing themselves. And they're all humanity is seeing it, and it's pissing everybody off. But the thing that we want to focus on here is that we need to set the example for how we want to see this world be run, right? We give our power away to all this fear-based energy. And we've been given or needs leaders. I don't like the word requires, because I don't think it is required. I don't need to be led, but it's because of this conditioning, this fear-mongering based conditioning, that keeps us from seeing that we are able to lead ourselves. But it requires self-discipline. It requires an openness. Like if you notice, the people that are the most in need of leadership are the ones that are most stuck in their ego, right? Because they believe that, they need to have someone guiding them for their structure, because they don't have the capacity or the ability to create that on their own. Why not? Because they don't have the discipline and the emotional intelligence to step forward through it. You have to think about these things, and this is the kind of stuff that the Saturn conjunction up, right? So with at this full moon, of course, we have the sun and Mercury exactly at 20 degrees. That's only 2 degrees away. Guys, that is just so much energy sitting on top of this, all this unconscious energy. This is This is even like, you know how they spoke about, you know, December. Everybody that I know right now is feeling this shit, and everybody, thank God, a lot of people have done the work already. We had this like first wave of people, right, that have gone through this and done hard work in the last 8 to 10 years, prepared us to help others that are just getting hit now. I have had so crazy and nuts. Look, guys, this is par for the course. Okay, the communicate with Mercury opposite moon in Cancer at 20 degrees. Okay, and this is all 22. 2 is a big number, and 22 is a master number to the 2. Okay, it's all about partnerships. This is all about relationships. Relationship with the universe, relationship with ourselves, relationships with people in our lives. What do we want our relationship to look like? Where are we going to go in these relationships? How do we want them to look? And then taking action to carry those out. All right. So massive. And, you know, with Venus here and the last decan of Aquarius, this is the first taste going into the Aquarian age to that is setting the stage for really creating the space for wanting to step into these more Aquarian age living spaces, ideas, okay, creating tribal type of communities, right, which has already happened. You see, you know, like you go to a meetup and people that have these common grounds, these common understandings are getting together and creating these tribes, these communities. You know, find your tribe. People are finding the tribe. The whole word tribe is being really popular again. It's because it's hard to trust. We can't trust the government. We can't trust the medical institutions. We can't trust politicians. We can't trust, really, we can't trust anybody because everybody's out for their own shit, right? So we really have to work, and that's why entrepreneurship is on the rise as well, because people want freedom. People don't want to live by other people's rules anymore. That's what it's standing into our own power, but it's very difficult to do that when we have been conditioned and we are marketed from every angle to be led by that cannot be trusted. So you see how all this is working, but what's coming out, this stuff has to come out so that we can really see at a grander level that, hey, look, we need to start governing ourselves. We need to do the research, and we are in the place where there's so much information at our hands that we have the information. Now, with that comes a lot of misinformation. Okay, so that the trust comes into play. Truth explosion. Boom. I like that shit. Hell yeah. So, but that's exactly what Pluto and Saturn is doing. They're blowing up everybody's spot. So if you are going through your life and you are doing, or you are functioning on a basis of manipulation, of taking advantage of power, way to organizations, you're going to have some kind of negative. This is forcing us to take our power back. Now, I mean, taking our power back is also like, look at when you watch TV, right? Every other commercial on TV is an ad for a prescription or medication or vaccine or something else that's going to fucking kill you or make you sick, right? Because we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. Because if you're not sick, you don't need to go, right? It makes no money. So this system is broken, guys. Our system is completely fucked. And everywhere you look, it is fucking broken. So we are stepping up. People like that are in my shoes. Look, I don't appear to be someone that would pass as a doctor or a lawyer or even a fucking professional. I don't talk like that either because I don't want to. I'm me, right? If you like me, great. If you don't, great. I don't really care. All right. I'm on here because I feel important to get this message out, knowing that if even one person hears it, then I'm grateful for that. Okay. And speaking it, clearing out my throat chakra helps me to evolve as well. Okay. So a big part of it, I could be sitting here talking myself, and I'm okay with that. But you know what? I've had debates and conversations with doctors and chiropractors and PhDs and master healers from around the world, and hung in conversations with them. I have taught them things, okay? And I have learned things a lot because I have an open mind, because I'm not afraid to go into my fear, because I'm not afraid to what is going on with my body and my mind to better myself. Because you know what? Every single time I've trusted a doctor or a medical institution or a lawyer or something like that, I've gotten something bad has happened, because no one will ever have enough passion about your own life than yourself, right? And situations are coming up right now to throw that shit in your face. All right. What are you afraid of? What are you trusting that you shouldn't be trusting? What are you not trusting that you should be trusting? Where are you giving your power away? Or where are you getting used to too much power? Are you grandiose? Are you manipulating people? I'm telling you, that shit's going to come back to haunt you. Now, anybody watching this right here is not manipulating people, and it's not, because if you're watching this, you're vibrating with my frequency, and you're not like that. Okay, I enjoy and love helping and healing people. That is what makes me feel good about myself. I also enjoy I enjoy and I have to keep myself in optimal physical condition, because that keeps mind in optimal physical condition. And if I don't have an optimal mind, then I am shit. Okay. It seems that, you know, life for me at least brings experiences and scenarios that require me to be at my best all the time. So that's why I'm into biohacking. That's why I've learned and figured out all these things that teach me how to continue to stay optimized and going in the right direction for me, right? And everyone has that ability. Everyone has the capacity to be able to do that. But right now, people that have never really gone through any part of an awakening are getting blasted heavy. So I want to make everybody aware of this, because we need to look out for these people. More people need to get out there and speak their authentic truth and create these tribes, okay? And in order to get there, we have to work through our own fears, through our own bullshit, because that bullshit, those fears, those things that keep us from being best self keeps us from shining our light in the world. And we have this feeling, this deep down calling somewhere that says, man, I need to fucking do this. This is that Plutonic energy, that Plutonic and Saturn dance that has been going on for this past year. It's been percolating and oscillating for the last year. Now it's sandwiching itself together. Now it's like, okay, there is no, it is time to shit or get off the pot. Do both, do none, but make a decision and go. Okay? And going is going to feel uncomfortable as hell, but you know what? It needs to happen. And you see in the world, look, our bodies and our minds are more imbalanced than they've ever been. Look at all the diseases out there. And it's the equivalent to Pachamama, the world, right? Look at the fires down in Australia. It breaks my heart to see. And how could people intentionally do that shit? I don't understand it, but there are people out there that do that. They probably got paid a lot of money, or there's people out there that want this bad shit to happen. It's insane. But it's happening on an energetic level because the world is in peril. The world is out of balance, and it needs to come back into balance. And those fires, and there's earthquakes going on too. This year, we're going to have more natural disasters than we've ever seen, because the world is correcting itself. But look, the apocalypse does not mean that the world is going to end. Okay, we thought we misinterpreted the Mayan calendar. Well, most people did, from saying that the world was going to end on December 21st, 2012. It's level of consciousness ended, and now we're at another point this weekend that another layer of consciousness is ending, and this is basically the beginning of the end of Pisces age, and the beginning as we're moving into the age of Aquarius. So what does that mean? Aquarius is all about technology. You know, Uranus rules Aquarius, so technology, artificial intelligence. It's air. It's in the mind. It's air quality. So it's very cerebral. Okay, the internet. There's information everywhere, right? Technology is going to be mixed with organisms, and we're going to start blending that together, and that's going to be part of the difficulty. But you know, at the same time, look at plant medicine and psychedelics becoming legal. When the fuck did you think that was ever going to happen, right? So as these things are happening, it's like these old traditions that are coming back from way back in the day are reemerging. All right, things from indigenous tribes in South and Central America and even Africa. We're starting to learn and realize that, hey, there are these plants and there's even these trees and these earth-based natural organic components heal the human body. They expand our consciousness. They're here for a reason. In fact, I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast today, and he was talking about it was some evolved ape theory, where the theory was, I think Terence McKenna came up with this, was that the way that humans evolved from apes to humans was that, have I ever had an ayahuasca experience? I've had many, yes. So they suggest that apes way back in the day ate mushrooms, right? And as they ate mushrooms, that expanded their consciousness. It grew their brain over generations. And as it grew, the brain grew, and they ended up becoming human beings. Now, I don't know how much I believe that, but it's a very interesting philosophy. All right. And yes, ayahuasca has reemerged. It's almost a mainstream thing now, right? That will be legal very soon. In fact, it's already legal with a couple churches here in the United States. Mushrooms have become legal in 3 cities: Oakland, Denver, Colorado, and San Diego, I believe, just passed well. And there are about 30 more cities that are getting ready to get into that. Ketamine is now legally being prescribed for depression. I mean, all these things are being used now because it's shown to be efficient and effective. Now, 10 years ago, this whole war on drugs thing, 10, 20, 30 years ago, they classified these as class 1, drugs, which suggests that they can cause death and severely harm the human body. But it's so interesting that now proof is coming out that these things actually heal the human body. People are getting off prescription medications from these natural plants. People are getting over PTSD, traumatic brain injury, recovering from Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia. This goes on. So isn't it interesting that all these man-made prescription drugs and all these man-made things that are giving to us are destroying our body, and we're bringing back these things that have been deemed legal and dangerous that are actually what's saving us? Guys, this is the truth. The truth is coming out and it is setting us free. But so many people have been conditioned to believe the bullshit that we have been told by the powers that they are resistant to it. They don't want to see it or feel it or believe it. But they will. Because more and more people, credible people like Dr. Mark Hyman, look at Dave Asprey, Ben Greenfield, the list goes on. There are so many books out there. There's so many people, functional medicine specialists. People are coming out and saying, look, this shit is not real. This shit, they tricked you. And as more people are turning around things like cancer and autoimmune diseases and dementia and PTSD and depression, we have created a nation, right? Yeah, Dave Asprey, his brand new book, Superhuman, one of the best books I ever read. I actually tried like a dozen of his things that he wrote about in there already. In fact, I did a live 3 days ago getting an NAD IV. All these things that are evolving and being shown to us, this is the truth, guys. And it's honestly, when enough people get wind of it, oh, you met him? That's awesome. I want to meet that dude. Hell yeah. So so this is changing how the health industry, alternative medicine and alternative, therapy is therapy. That is the healthcare system. I can't tell you how many people that I've helped turn around their lives because I just help explain why is going on. And the medical industry is calling themselves out. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Time and a place for everything. If someone gets a limb cut off or there's some kind of emergency situation, you need doctors to do surgery. You need, situations where you need medication, but it's about 10% of the time that we actually have it, okay? The shit drives me nuts because there's so many people out there that are suffering for no fucking reason. It's crazy. It pisses me, but it's okay. I'm happy because I'm doing my part, right? So with then we also at this full moon, okay, which is going to be crazy, crazy emotional. First of all, the moon Cancer, okay. So we already have that accentuated energy going on. We also have Jupiter conjunct the South Node. So this is really activating our ability to let go. And most of the stuff's going to be unconscious, right? But we have so much new energy running through us that it's going to like feel like it's going to knock us over maybe. All right. So we have to, take this within, right? Emotional is an understatement. You got that right. So, Jupiter expands things. It's like a microscope, right? The South Node is about the way that we used to be. This is and with Saturn and Pluto, this is like seeing all the shit that we used to do, all the patterns, if we were in a dysfunctional relationship, now we see the opposite of that dysfunctional relationship. So, well, how the fuck did I fall for that shit every time? Then you get mad at yourself, like, oh my God, I can't believe I wasted so much time doing this shit, dating this person, dealing with this crap. But you know what? We had to go through it. This is literally clearing karma from lifetimes. I'm talking about lineage. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 generations down the line. Any kind of karmic debt, any kind of karma that we've inherited. I'm sorry, from our parents, or our grandparents, or great great grandparents. All that shit is getting cleared right now, but it's painful. Okay, because now all of a sudden, all this energy has been in our energetic field, right, in our aura. Now it's leaving, and we're like, well, we feel empty. We don't know what's going on. You might feel like dreamy, spacey. You might feel just like you just don't know who you are, and that feels weird. All right, especially if you've never felt that before. Okay, so this is why we need to be careful not to want to escape. We need to make sure that we are present with ourselves going through this process. We need to make sure that we are still in our mind. Being around people that we know and trust, we can be vulnerable with. Cry if you have to cry. Like yesterday, I watched the movie Bumblebee, right? And just the movie Bumblebee, watching how the girl, the girl in the movie's father died, and then Bumblebee came in, and they were both outcasts, and it was so beautiful. But I was crying the whole movie because of, thinking about how her father died. That's so, right? Because in a way it related to a situation in my life. Not exactly the same thing, but, the point is that everything in our environment is going to be reminding us of shit that we have going on. The stuff that we don't want to look at, the stuff that we don't want to feel, we have to feel right now. We are going to feel, whether we like it or not. Okay? So, it's time to embrace this. It's time to embrace this new era. And things are going to come along. That feeling of emptiness, that feeling of cloudiness, not knowing what the hell's going on, that's only temporary, okay? That's only going to last a short while. What we do with that is, say, when we're feeling this lost feeling, call somebody that you trust and care about. Talk to them. Open up your throat chakra. Expand that energy. Allow it to come out. Allow yourself to acknowledge to someone, knowing that you will not be judged or criticized, so that you can feel it and let it go. Okay. Okay. So I don't know how to say your name, Biagala26, but eyes and mine have been feeling very open, clear over the last 24 hours. Is that normal to anyone else? Waves coming. There's waves coming of having openness and having, being shut off, being frustrated, then being elated, being sad, then being happy, being able to sleep, not being able to sleep, being super over energized. It's in all this, it's the contraction and expansion of the energy that is coming in, that is purging out all this shit. And that's how it goes, right? It's think of it as an energetic pump. This energetic pump is coming in, and you feel it, you feel down, then you feel the opposite because it opens up. It's contraction, it's expansion, contraction, expansion, over and over and over again. So, be okay with the ups and downs right now. Appreciate the ups and allow the downs to come through you, right? So foggy, it's It's going to be difficult to keep a consistent schedule right now. So just do the best you can. Look, everybody's going through it. Okay. Just be kind to yourself. The key is not to beat yourself up. Fuck, man, why can't I just be this way? Start popping, stimulus to stay awake, and just don't. That's escapism, and that Neptune at 16 degrees is sextile over here well, it's kind of, the sextile is a little wide, but it's basically sextile over to the Sun and Mercury. Okay, which is great, but it's also a little like spacey, cloudy. Yay! And it can go to Fantasyland, or go into like escapism, just wanting to just not deal with it, not think about it. That could be like you just want to Netflix and just fucking run away. You want to isolate yourself, or it could be you want to go out and party and do all kinds of drugs and shit. Whatever you do, you have to keep your mind and your vessel as clear as possible. Okay. From it, it's not going to happen as efficiently as it could. Now, if this all wasn't enough, all right, on the 11th, Saturday, we have Uranus stationing direct at 2 degrees of Taurus. Now, and it's going to be trine to the South Node in Jupiter. Man, oh man, wow. So Uranus and Jupiter. Uranus trine Jupiter is an amazing, amazing aspect, okay? This is going into our physical body, our self-confidence, our self-worth. This is epiphanies, like, holy fuck, what is going on? Let's make some shit happen. This is energy revving through you like lightning, like fucking Thor, right? Now, during this time too, though, we're going to have Mars trine over to Chiron. Now, Chiron is at the very beginning of Aries, okay? Chiron at the beginning of Aries, that's at the core of our ego. So we have this deep wound that is being healed, especially with, all these different aspects, but it's literally digging into the center of our heart and yanking it the fuck out, because Mars, especially in Sagittarius, it's aggressive. It's like, yeah, let's go get it. Let's make it happen. Right. And this is incredibly vulnerable. So this is teaching you, hey, look, dude, like, this is a drill sergeant being, look, fucker, you need to be vulnerable, and you need to do this now to have a better life. Don't fight it. Don't worry, I'm mad at you guys. I'm just saying that's what Mars, that's how Mars is talking to right. So Chiron is that like little scared little kid that just doesn't want to do anything. All right. So we have to really be careful with this escapist attitude, and with the emotions and feelings that come up with that vulnerability. Vulnerability hurts, okay? Then while this is going on too, we have a grand trine, okay? This grand trine is between Chiron, Mars, and the moon. All right, so it's a grand fire trine. It's gonna be very fiery, very like intense. Like, fuck, let's just get it. This is gonna probably feel like we're getting revved up like a charged battery. Okay. But as we get revved up and as we move into it, the Saturn Pluto conjunction is like, you can go if you can, blast your wall. This wall is meant to strengthen you. If you're not strong enough to blast through this wall, you ain't going nowhere. Right. But we have, and that wall is our belief systems. If we want to make it into this 5D reality consistently, we have to face these self-limiting belief systems that have to do with the structure of our emotions, have to do with the relationships in our life. If we're staying in a toxic relationship, we are not going anywhere. That shit is going to get so bad, you're not going to be able to function. Okay, so if you're in a relationship that's really that bad, the signs are there. A big box of red flags just being fucking thrown at you. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Red flag. Red flag. And if you're like, no, I don't want to look. I mean, can't deny the truth, and that's what Pluto and Saturn are saying, along with Mercury right there, and Mercury and the Sun are traveling together. You need to look at this shit, dude. You need to look at it. It is not going to go away. Okay, we are going through a crucible this weekend. This weekend will be excellent for hot springs, meditation, yoga, to meet up with some great friends, burning candles, burning sage. Doing combo ayahuasca if you can do it, sitting in like a sound bath, doing something that's going to bring a high vibration and peace to you. and listening to our feeling, okay? Listening to binaural beats, doing something, doing anything to take care of your mind, your soul, your body, your frequency, everything. Okay? So very, very important. I cannot stress this enough. Self-care, self, right? But so a big thing right now, a big tactic, right, that I feel that our society is so used to is this whole war machine thing. I mean, our world is basically a big fucking war machine. And let me tell you, I was in war, so I've seen it on all levels. I understand it firsthand. And so there's this whole big thing about how, you know, we watch or we hear, you can't avoid hearing it. It's fucking, and then everybody turns into a politician, especially now that we're connected and we're looking for likes on social media. People are all of a sudden throwing their opinion out. They know what's going on. Look, nobody knows what's going on. All information is misconstrued. It's modified. It's completely fucking ridiculous. Okay, so when this is being exposed and going on, it's the powers that be that are trying to instill fear on everyone. Because when you shift your mind into the fear-based mode, you are distracted into that fear. And where there's fear, there is not love. Okay, so that means you cannot love yourself and focus on the fear at the same time. You can have now, of course, mostly there's a gray area there, okay? But the more, like, I know, like, I love my mom and dad so much. Mom and dad, I love you guys, okay? But every morning, at least I haven't been home in a while. They live in Massachusetts. I live in Las Vegas. But every time I go, I used to go home, the news is always on in the house. And when the news is always on, you're always hearing all fucking different opinions about what's going on and what the right decision to do and how to deal. Guys, getting caught up in all that banter and all this political bullshit is poison. It is poison to our minds. And then you sit there and when you're working and you're talking to people, well, what do you think about it? Or what do you think about this? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Go math. You're a masshole too, huh? So all this fucking poison is just, it sits there in our minds. And then we talk about it. And then we feel it. And then we have an opinion and to express our opinion. Okay. And it's all fucking pointless and useless. All right. And then we talk like we're commentators and I would send, 50,000 troops over and I would do this. And you don't even know how the whole works. They don't even know. It's the whole intelligence is compartmentalized. Okay. So everybody knows a little bit, but nobody knows everything. It's absolutely insane. It's all bullshit. Okay. So this fear mongering is a tactic to make sure that nobody ascends. However, if you notice, it ain't working, dude. Sorry, guys, it ain't working. And they're going to keep continuing to try to throw that shit at us. So we have to make sure that we create our tribe and that we stay in this. And when I say love-based vibration, that the foundation of that love-based vibration is self-love. I mean, think about it. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, right? That self-love has to come first. And so if you can see it, I'll see it at the gym and I'll look at it from time to time, but I don't throw an opinion to it. I look at it from a detached angle and I see, how it's the sort of game plan or the strategy behind it. And it's really, right? This is the world we live in. So we have to do our part individually. Now, what about protests, right? What all these protests and all these things that are coming together for this people who don't make, peace, not war. Okay. I get it. We need to make a statement. Okay. But, into a protest, saying these people are wrong, then that's just creating competition which is what? Another form of fear. Some people disagree with me on that, but all right. How can you get creative and help people from your own place of self-love to help change the world? Yes, we can create tribes. So if you're going to create a tribe and just focus on doing great things for great people or great things for people and raising the vibration, that's one thing. But gathering people in a protest based on telling these people that they're wrong and they need to make a change. No, that's just the dick contest. That shit don't work. Now, you look back at like the civil rights movement, and like there's a lot of gray area there. Okay, but my point is that if we focus on love and approaching things with love and talking to people about doing things in a loving way, not focusing on opposing something else, that's when, like, look at Martin Luther King. Okay, he's one example that I do agree with. He got up there because he had a dream, right? That was his big speech. I have a dream, and he got out there and he just wanted to spread his message of love and of humanity and of everybody coming together. And yeah, he got shot, and that sucks. But that's the price sometimes. That we live in a dark world, people. It's just that's the way it is. But it's not going to be that way forever. Honestly, when you come at anything with love in your heart, then that's okay. When you leave this life, the suffering ends, at least for a while. Okay, but raising that vibration is the main priority here with everything that's going on. We are purging so much dense energy. And as we purge this energy this weekend, expect the unexpected. Expect things that you did not even know existed. This is the unconscious coming into the conscious, right? So if you've done any kind of personal development work or worked with any kind of shamanic practitioner or even yoga or plant medicine, then you've experienced firsthand like situations where the unconscious comes into the conscious mind. And what does that feel like? Well, I remember when I did this personal development course called PSI, I did this 1 7-day immersion course. It's called Psi 7, and it was all about facing your fears, right? So I went up to this one course that we had to do, which is basically we had to go out to this it looked like a plank outside of on the edge of a mountain that was like 500 meters above the ground, and we were strapped into a harness and took this D-ring and plugged it. I saw other people go up there and freaking out, and I was like, oh, this is for me, I'm good. But I wasn't fazed by it. I was like, okay, I got this, And then as I got up there and they strapped me in, I put my toes over the edge of this thing, and I went to lean forward and I couldn't. I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? I didn't feel any resistance. He wasn't pulling back, right? Because I had to lean forward at a 45-degree angle. So I didn't expect that. And I didn't realize what kind of effect that would have on me, because I felt like I was going to flop right over. So literally, like, I tried like 6 times and I couldn't do it. So finally, I had to scream because they wouldn't let me down until I did it. All right. So I literally had to scream. My whole body was shaking. Ah! And I leaned forward, and it catches me right before I feel like I'm about to plop. And that was that clearly I didn't trust myself, right? So the whole time I'm standing there, my whole body is in like an uncontrollable convulsion. And I started screaming something like, I'm free, I'm a free man, or I love myself, some shit like that, right? And I had to stand there for like 5 fucking minutes, right? And it was just, I have a picture of it, so beautiful. It's just like, it's the sun, and it's just like rolling mountains everywhere. And I'm just like, I look down and there's just nothing underneath me, sort of like I jumped out of a plane. I'm just hovering, right? And it was beautiful. And then once I'm down, and I'm bawling my eyes out in front of everybody. And, my teammates came and hugged me, and we all had a good cry, and it was beautiful. But that was the first time I realized that and once I learned that concept, of course, about a year later, I started doing body work. And that's when, and that's when I learned how to release manually this unconscious pain that we hold on to, this unconscious dense energy in our body. And it's a fascinating thing because, when our emotions are activated in our brain, they travel through the body through neuropeptides, right? And these neuropeptides, travel through. So when we have, that's why stress affects the body so much. And, I remember, when I had my first big SCR, it changed everything. It it shifted my entire situation. So, you know, if that's going on right now, right? Yeah, Marjone, you did it too. So you can expect things like that to start happening, because as this unconscious energy comes up, you may feel sensations in your body. You may just start crying out of nowhere. You know, all these emotions are coming out of nowhere. You may all of a sudden find yourself start shaking. You know, find yourself really cold or really hot, right? Or you might have to, you know, take a big fat shit out of nowhere, right? Or gotta go pee a lot. All these things activate these different functions in the body as they wake you up, and it is pretty freaking crazy. But you'll find that you feel like gloriously light afterwards. So I encourage you to embrace these things, you know, especially like doing yoga right now, because yoga is based on activating and opening up these energetic and fascia meridians, and energy runs through our fascia meridians. If you haven't ever listened to the book or watched the book, I'm sorry, I get a lot of books on I get a lot of audiobooks, so I listen to books, right? But The Body is the Subconscious Mind. It's an excellent book to get, and it may help you understand, you know, where you hold on to traumas and why, and how to open up. That's why physical activity, physical exercise, especially with all these aspects happening in Capricorn, are so important, because our physical structure is what holds everything, right? And our physical structure is dying off, or I should say our energetic structure is dying off, and the energetics are a part of our future. That happens, we have to learn to release it. So, and you know, then of course, you know, by the 12th, we have the Sun conjunct Pluto and Saturn, and now Mercury is at 23 degrees. Okay, so right after the Sun, we have this lunar eclipse, which is super emotional, bringing up all these emotions, right? That's a planet that allows everything to be clear in your mind. Dude, like, this is huge. And now all the planets are direct. So it's like, release all this. Now we're going to get a flush of all this new high. And it's going to be like, holy fuck, what on? It's going to be change. It's going to happen. So ready. And then look, the moon now is quincunx over James and Mercury. So after we have all these emotions come up, now it's like, okay, now we got to deal with them. So they come up, and it's like a feeling, and it's like now it's forcing us to drive through. I mean, this is not one aspect, this is multiple aspects. Now with all planets, that's all systems go. There is nothing holding us back. We are evolving. So this weekend until Sunday/Monday, I mean, holy fuck. Next week, things are going to start happening. Change, aha moments, new ideas, new ways of being, new things that we want to do are just going to hit us like fucking Mack truck. And we're going to be boom, because all this energy is infusing so fucking fast that it's almost going to be like, I don't know what to do. You know, you're going to be so new with all this new energy. But depending on how much we have coming up and how familiar we are with this process, it's what's up, Leslie? Depending on how much of all this stuff is going on, you know, we are opening up our heart chakra, and when too much energy comes through, it can be painful. Okay, so you could be experiencing a lot of physical pain here over the next week, with a lot of excitement, with a lot of extreme, like, what is going on? Like, once I was blind, now I see. But the truth, you know how they say the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. Well, ain't that the truth, right? That's sort of how it goes. That's where we're at. So this weekend is setting precedents for the rest of the year of major, major transformation. So, you know, vision boards, goal setting, because that's going to make a big difference, and it's going to help you come back to being grounded, because this shit can just throw you right off track, right off being grounded, because now there is nothing holding us back for the next, until I believe February 12th or 13th is when Mercury goes retrograde. All right. So keep this in mind while all this is going on. And then, of course, a few days later, we're going to be having these, which Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? So that's going to be just a lot of really beautiful stuff coming up after all this deep, dark shit comes up. Okay. So, You know, when it comes through, try not to be reactive. Try to be more responsive. All right. I'm going to check here on my YouTube and see if I have any questions. Hey, what guys? You don't listen to it? The same process as burn, car. Yeah, exactly. I watched lies on TV for years. I only watched The Walking Dead. You know what's funny about The Walking Dead is that that is actually sort of realistic. If you look at the homeless situation in LA, there, because the sanitary conditions, and there's so many people homeless because the sanitary conditions are so bad that they're expecting that potentially the bubonic plague is going to come back. Now, homeless people and some of these fucking new drugs out there are creating zombies out there anyways. People are acting like zombies. So that whole zombie apocalypse thing, you know, especially with all the crazy crap that's going on, you know, we need to ensure that we keep our physical bodies strong and healthy, because, you know, between all the obesity epidemic, you know, autism, autoimmune disease, all these things are on the rise because we're being all this poison from the so-called care or sick care system. The healthy we are, the more resistant we are to all these viruses and bacteria that are going to be coming up out of nowhere, that are going to be being, you know, mutated, reborn. Okay, so pay attention to that and make sure that you stay healthy and you keep yourself knowledgeable about how to naturally heal yourself. So very important. Keep that immune system strong. Okay. So I think that's about all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. Does anybody have any questions for me? I will be happy to sit here and answer some questions if anybody has any. All right. Well, I think on that note, I am going to go here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm creeping up on an hour anyway. So, wow, that was just... Whew. So, good luck this weekend. I'll be praying for you all, sending out Spiritual Bodybuilder. And if you're not subscribed to my Instagram, please subscribe. And if you like a reading for me, okay, what's up, brother? Or what's up, HS? You got a question? And also, I'm offering coaching now as well. So if you're interested in coaching, you can message me on Instagram, and you know, be happy to talk to you. And I also, with that coaching, I just collaborated with the beautiful Shannon Lynn. You can check her out at Shannon_Lynn_fitness, and he is an inspiration as well. And I definitely, we're definitely going to do some really great work together. Working together with both of our skills to help to bring, you know, the clients, you know, the absolute best, most well-rounded, you know, information and guidance that we can give. Okay. Can I elaborate on what an omega male is and why he is so weak on society? Okay. So switching subjects. Thank you. Switching subjects a little bit. I'll go ahead and answer this question. So first off, what is an omega male, and why? And I never said that he is weak in society. He is not. He's rare in society. But an omega male is one that has traits of an alpha, but does not need to express himself as an alpha, right? An alpha male needs to establish dominance, right? He needs to be out there and be the best, be the smartest, be the most, you know, be the biggest, be the toughest, be the one that dominates the energy. And Omega can do that, or his energy will do that, but he doesn't need to make it obvious. So say like in a relationship, right? An Omega male will have all those traits, but he can sit back and let female, you know, be in charge or be dominant, or he can let others be dominant and work behind the scenes and let things happen. Okay, so I mean, in a nutshell, that's basically what it is. And there definitely is, out of any male, there is very little weakness with that, because he is open. He's open enough to learn. He doesn't think that he's right about everything. He's opening to learning, but he knows that he's quite intelligent, and that he can hang with anybody. Okay, it's that omega males are rare. Okay, I consider myself an Omega male, at least in that. Now, I've talked to a few people that say that there's like I think a Zeta male that description actually fits. Look, I've never heard of that, and that doesn't really resonate with me. Omega male and that description resonates with me, so that's what I go with. But people see them as weak. Well, I never said that, and I don't believe that. So I don't know where you're getting that from. So that's not what I believe. Okay. And it doesn't. I mean, an Omega male wouldn't care if he's seen as weak or strong. Because he's confident himself and he knows who he is. So that is sort of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. Okay. But really, from the outside looking in, Cuban is respectable, as honorable, as to be weird in a way. Okay. All right, guys. I'm out. Peace. Love y'all. Have a great night.